Howdy everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be doing a fall grapevine wreath. So now please excuse this video because I did lose the beginning footage and I don't have any sound, so I'll just be doing a voice over it. Alright, here we go. I've got a grapevine wreath that I got at Hobby Lobby and I've made a bow, and if you want to learn how to make bows, I will put a link in the description box below so that you can follow the tutorials. Now I've got this little sign that I also got at Hobby Lobby. Now let me tell you, not all my supplies are from the same place. I did buy floral bushes from a store called At Home, and then I bought some greenery bushes that I got from the Dollar Tree. So you'll see that I use a lot of different items. Well, not a lot of different items, but I use different items from different places. And like this little sign that I have there, I got that at a clearance and I saved it, and I've decided to use it on this particular wreath. This wreath is going to be going to my son's home with his new wife in San Antonio, and they'll be putting it either in their front door or they'll be putting it inside of their home. I'm not sure. So what I did is I went ahead and I used some wire to tie down the little rope part up at the top of the wreath because I want it to hang down, but I also don't want it to flop around. So if they put it outside in their front door, I don't want the wind to flop it around and be making a lot of noise. So what I'm doing is I put some hot glue to hold it down, and all I'm doing right now is I'm just kind of maneuvering it so that it stays in place. I end up putting something underneath the little sign to keep it level so that it doesn't move around and it just completely dries. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue because I did get a bush, and this bush, again, I got it from a store called At Home. All I did was I trimmed off all the flowers off the one bush so that I have single stems. I like to buy things from bushes because they're more cost effective. This bush cost me about $5. I don't remember the exact prices. I wasn't intending on making a video with this. I was just going to make the wreath, and then I decided I should just do a video. So this is kind of a quickie thing that I just put together, and that's why I don't have a proper introduction, or I did lose some footage because of the way that I started recording. Please, again, forgive me. Okay, so now as you can see, I'm using the little leaf that I cut off at the bottom, and I've cut it from the stem so that I could place it at a different position. Here's another little leaf that I also cut from the bush, and I'm placing it on the other side of the flower that I put at the bottom. Now these two flowers that I placed, one at the bottom and one at the top, these are the two flowers that I've decided where I want my spacing to be. I'm not going to put any flowers at the right side of the wreath, which you're looking at straight at, but I am going to put flowers on the left side. Now you may choose to put flowers all the way around, so I suggest that maybe you buy yourself a couple of bushes of flowers, unless you find a nice big bush that has maybe 12 or 13 flowers. They usually have odd numbers. Here I'm deciding that I want to put this flower kind of facing down a little bit, and I showed you against my hand how I bend the stem. I will show you later in the video how I do that again. And basically I'm just taking the flowers and I'm just deciding where I want to position them, and I'm adding a little greenery from the same bush and just placing it closer to the flowers because the stem was kind of long and the greenery was kind of long. And if I just inserted the whole thing all together, the greenery would get lost somewhere in the wreath. So this is, as you can see there, I snip it off and then I bend the little stick and I find a position for it where I want my flower. The reason that I bend the little stick is because I want the stick to be going in sideways, and I don't want the flower to end up facing sideways. I want it to be looking upward, or at least a little bit to the side, but not straight down or straight upward, if you understand that. And I'm just adding more glue to make sure it's in there properly. Putting glue on the leaf stem, finding a little spot for it, pushing it in, and I like to push it into where it feels nice and tight so that I know it's grabbing onto something. So here I'm just showing you so you can see where I placed them. I take one more flower and I decide that I want that coming upward from behind the bow. Again, I'm going to remove the leaf stem, making a separate little stem for it. There I bend it so I can show you what I'm talking about. There you go. That way the stem goes in, not straight, you know, like poking into the wreath, but poking sideways into it, so it's actually grabbing onto things. I don't want it poking all the way straight through and then touching the table in the back and there's just a stem sticking out of the back. I want it to actually glue onto something, and that's why I bend them. And just adding the little leaf that I cut off over onto the side of it so that it's closer up to the flower. There we go. And I'm going to take some more of these leaves that I had cut off from the bush that were on a little bit even lower on the stems, and I just pull them off, and I'm just going to fill in here and there. But you're going to see me also take some greenery bushes, as I mentioned before, that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'll be trimming those as well. Here you can see the little roll that I had put under that little sign that says "Be Grateful." That was holding it up. It's just a little roll of some like chicken wire kind of thing that I purchased. I'll be using that in some project pretty soon, but you can see that that's what I was using to level that sign while it was drying. And I just remove it out of the way later. You'll see me do that. There we go, a little close-up view. I love that ribbon on that bow. I bought that last year at Hobby Lobby, and I used it for some of my arrangements, and I had leftovers, so I'm going to be using it. I'm using it again. Here is the bush that I got from the Dollar Tree. It's really pretty little maple leaves. They've got some reds, some greens, and yellow in them, and I thought they were really pretty, and I think they'll coordinate really well because, as you notice, the sunflower is a kind of an orange color, but it does have some red inside of it, and I thought the leaves with a red in them would be a perfect match for them. And then the green leaves are a different green from the green that is on the leaves of the sunflowers, but it just gives it another tone, another texture, if you will, to the whole look of the wreath. And what I'm doing here is I'm just filling in the like little ball spots here and there. I just want to make sure that when you tuck those in, again, that they go in nice and tight into your wreath. Make sure they're actually grabbing onto something when you're pushing them in. Get that out of the way. Adding more of these beautiful little leaves. I thought they were so pretty. They're only $1 from the Dollar Tree. And look at how beautiful they look against a flower that I purchased somewhere else. Don't be afraid to mix your items. Look at that. That looks really pretty. Why spend so much money? If you find a really nice bush of flowers at a Hobby Lobby, for example, just go to the Dollar Tree and find some coordinating little leaves or maybe even some smaller flowers that you might want to fill in. You don't have to spend a lot of money, and these items look really pretty if you place them correctly and just make a beautiful wreath. I think it's beautiful. I love what I do. I hope that you will enjoy watching my videos and you feel that they are nice as well and aesthetically pleasing as you watch them. Just adding some more of these stems into my wreath to fill in some little spots that I felt like, you know, they needed something. There we go. I'm going to leave a little ball spot. This is kind of a thing that I do. I leave a part of the wreath uncovered because I want you to see the grapevine wreath. You know, you go through the trouble of finding a nice grapevine wreath. By the way, this is an 18-inch grapevine wreath, and it was $4.99 at Hobby Lobby. And I used a 40% off coupon because they do have their 40% off one regular priced item. And I got it on my phone. So I just show them that, and I got 40% off. So it cost me like $3 actually. Okay, I'm cutting another one of these little bushes from the Dollar Tree here. And that way I can go ahead and continue filling it up some more. But like I said, I like to leave a bald spot because I like you to see the grapevine. You go, like I said, you go through all that trouble buying a beautiful wreath and you want to pick one out that looks, you know, as round as possible, or at least as evenly as possible. I don't know what your experience is when you're looking at grapevine wreaths, but I think a lot of you will agree that when you go look at them, some of them are kind of clunky looking. They're a little crooked, but they do have a lot of character to them. And what I do is I look at them and I decide, well, you know, this is one that's got a little bit of more fullness on one side and one other side doesn't look so full. So usually I end up filling in the part that looks a little thinner and not so full so that I have the chunkier side, you know, showing, as you can see here on this wreath. I'm going to leave that part showing. And all I'm doing is just filling in again with more of these little, finishing up with the rest of my little pieces that I've cut up from the bush. There you go. I've got about 4 pieces still to go. Put that in. Don't mind the background noises, please. I think right there a leaf came out. So all I'm doing is adding some more glue and sticking that back in there and making sure it's in there nice and tight. There we go. And you can see where I've been filling it up. And everything coordinates really nice with that ribbon as well. And I used 2 ribbons when I made that bow. So I overlapped one ribbon on top of the other as I was making the loops. I love all these tin signs. So you go to the store and you see all these little kind of farmhouse type things. They're really pretty. That was from last year, and I think, or it was from their spring collection, and it was on clearance. And here I am using it for fall. There we go. There's our wreath. Here's another bush that I got at that store at home. I like these because they have these draping, like little berry stems. I don't know what they are. They're very interesting. But I just cut off a couple of stems. I'm not going to use the whole bush. I'm going to save that. Now, that bush cost me about $5 as well from the store at home. But look, I'm only going to use 2 pieces from it because I just want 2 little wispy bits coming down on my wreath, just giving it a little more whimsical look and just kind of adding that kind of beigey color that you see on that bottom, on the bow, the fabric on the bow. Just a little bit more creamier, but it's just adding some highlights so my wreath is not so orange at the top. There you go. Sticking them in there, letting those just drape over the flowers. I'm trimming the stem here again because it's too long. And adding glue to it. And tucking it in on the other side. So there's those little, I don't know what they are. If you know what they are, if you're familiar with something like that, let me know in the comments down below. And there we go. That's just my dog barking. Never mind her. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. You give me a big old thumbs up. Leave a nice comment down below. Please subscribe. And if you haven't already done so, and if you have, thank you very much. I'm very grateful. Make sure you share in your social medias. And I hope you enjoy my wreath. There we go. And as always, enjoy.